DJI just launched the new Osmo Pocket 4 and we had the opportunity to shoot the global product launch. Filmed over 8 days with the skeleton crew using everyday camera gear and minimal lighting. In this video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes. I'll break down various aspects of the production and also share some stories. So when DJI reached out about this project, I was a bit hesitant. Having done a global launch before, I know just how much time it can take up. Time I could be working on other client projects and making YouTube videos. That's until I spoke to my mate Reilin Joey. Turns out they also approached him about it. So we figured if we pitch together, it will not only strengthen our case, but will sure make a mean team. Reilin is an absolute genius when it comes to storyboarding and directing, which made it easy to define roles. I would DP and produce the project, Reilin would direct and edit, and thus started an intense period of planning and pre-production. While Reilin was building kilo millinote boards, I was producing the practical aspects like locations, models and gear.
Yeah, they look ready to fight.
When shooting a montage commercial with multiple actors in multiple locations, time is always the biggest challenge. We wanted to be as efficient as possible. Less crew, less gear. I opted for the Sony FX3 using mostly native autofocus lenses, with only one scene on cinema lenses. Majority of the content was outside, and with scenarios like wild animals, there was simply no chance of risking a shot being out of focus due to human error, because you might not get a second chance. Using the monitor and control app, we were able to ensure the right objects were tracked.
Can we try just one more? Just full up.
Okay, we're gonna try again. Okay, go.
Go. Yeah. Tracking. Nice. Yes, beautiful. Incredible.
Maintain speed, keep going, maintain speed, keep.
This shot came out exactly how we planned it. It's one thing to get into the right position in the right light, but actually finding a place that will enable you to do this is quite rare in South Africa. After a lot of back and forth with a few game farms, I realized that only one place will work for this shoot: Scotia Safaris. This meant extra flights for the whole crew, but what we gained was so much better. The owner, Justin, and I go way back, and I shot some content there in the early years of my career with some pretty special memories. I knew that he will accommodate us in the best way possible, and he personally accompanied us on the entire shoot, helping wherever it was needed. Rumor has it, he now moonlights as a car shaker. As the sun rose, we were quickly running out of good light, so we filmed this shot first and only focused on the close-ups after, since most of the image is out of focus, so it's a bit more forgiving. Using the DJI RS3 and a 24-70mm, I just dragged the vehicle on my feet and it came out pretty great. Lighting here was really simple, and we only used a 4x4 poly bounce to wrap sunlight around for some lift and shape in the faces, with color grading to make it pop. Next, we've got the close-up. This shot was used in practically every scene and is part of the match cut sequence in the intro. Using a magic arm and a 24-70mm, we just fixed the pocket in front of the lens. Once we had the correct distance and composition, it was super easy to duplicate. Because you have the static object in focus, you can do some really cool movements without feeling the shake as much. We also used this setup to showcase certain features, since it's easy to zoom in and out for a different perspective. Tomorrow, for sunset, we have to finish a little bit earlier. When it's this time, we have to be ready to press record. So there's a setup that we need to do with the fire, marshmallows, angles, lights to make it look nice. Now this fireplace scene was supposed to happen in blue hour, but we got caught up in bad weather still looking for elephants for the sequence with the DJI mic. Turns out elephants don't just appear when and where you want them to be. So we drove around for hours until we found some hiding out in the bushes. We pulled up next to them, and after a few moments, they all decided to come out. And this was a pretty crazy moment. Elephants are highly protective over their babies. And the next moment, a little Ellie popped out right in front of us, followed by a big mama. Lucky for us, she was in a good mood, took a quick sniff and then passed us. It was an intense yet very special experience that I will always hold on to. After this encounter, we drove back to our camp where we had to set up for the fireplace scene.
The light's just hitting the house there from this guy. Yeah. I know you want some light on the tree. Cheers!
Shooting in blue hour would have looked a lot better, but with rain forecasted for the next day, just couldn't risk the scene, so we just lit the place up with all the lights we had at our disposal. Here I used the Typox Amera Cs with a focus puller, because it was a static scene. We weren't chasing light anymore, and of course the lenses can let in a lot more light. Before I carry on, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, MusicBed. With all the AI craze going on right now, platforms are adopting the technology at a rapid pace, often at the expense of artists. It's like something inside of me goes numb when I see content prompted from scratch. This is the reason why I haven't promoted any of the trending AI video generators that are flooding YouTube right now. And trust me, I've been asked many times. This is the same reason why I'm sold out on MusicBed. A while back, someone asked me when I made the switch to MusicBed, and my answer was simple. I never had to switch. I've been using MusicBed from day one. That's right, 12 years since I first started licensing music. The same platform that promoted authenticity and creativity back then is the same platform fighting for artists today, pushing back against AI slop. There's just something about a song that was created by a real musician, going through real emotions, the ups and downs, back and forth, creating something backed by substance. Unlike trending audio on an Instagram reel, MusicBed offers thousands of highly curated songs performed by real people with something to say. If you care about human creativity and value the integrity of art, there is simply no better choice. Switch to MusicBed and start your 14-day free trial today. Link in the description below. Moving on to the Cape Town leg. I've dreamt about shooting a commercial film in the canola fields for many years, but the timing just never lined up since it only looks like this for a few weeks every year. As we planned our shooting window, I realized that it's going to be in prime time canola season. Now it's one thing to say let's go shoot in the canola, but finding a place that you can legally shoot at when the flowers are in their prime turned out to be quite a challenge. About a month before our shoot, I took a flight to Cape Town, and over a period of 3 days, I solo scouted the area looking for suitable locations. Some of the spots were already predetermined before the scout, but I still had to confirm the practicality of it all. Although canola fields are everywhere, they don't all have pretty backgrounds with the sun rising or setting in the right spot. And you have to find a field that's only going to be ready on shoot day. After visiting countless farms, I finally found this spot, and judging by the length of the canola, I knew there was potential. The farmer confirmed that they will start the harvest a week after our planned dates, so yeah, prime time. The early shots were all natural light, but as the light got more intense, we utilized some modifiers. At first we just used a 4x4 quarter stop frosted diffusion. I like this strength for daylight, especially in morning sun, because it still feels natural. As the light got harsher, we added in some bounce with a 4x4 poly, again just wrapping light from the bright side. For the static frames, we went with an 8x8 scrim on stands, using bounce where needed. With this setup, we did a lot of close-ups and feature demonstrations, but after a long morning in the sun, it was time to head to our next location.
Let's hop in the car and we'll see you in the picnic scene. It's about an hour drive, but the rest of the crew's left already, so let's get a move on.
This one is also special because I almost gave up on shooting in this area until I drove past this property. The owner was working on the gate and I asked him on the spot if we can shoot there. Turns out it's a legit shooting location and they've even filmed the feature there. Lighting wise, on the wides, we just used a poly bouncing light from the bright side. But as we moved in on product shots and close-ups, we added artificial light. A Nanlite PowerSlim 240CL on an inverter gave us more than enough for that high key look.
So Jacques is literally leaving because they are expecting a new baby.
An important detail I left out from this story was the fact that my wife was expecting our second child and her due date was fast approaching. Since I didn't want to miss the birth, I decided to play it safe and fly back home. I knew that I left a competent team behind. So if you want to know more about the rest of the shoot, I want to encourage you to go and watch Reilin's BTS video. If you don't know him already, you're in for a treat. And just like that, my daughter was born and I was there to enjoy the fullness of the moment. A perfect little miracle, adding immense joy to our lives. As I've stepped into fatherhood, I've realized the importance of letting go and trusting other people to execute when I'm not there. And this was a great reminder. If you want to learn more about how I color grade or how I light my scenes, check out the links in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.